education is very important to the life of individual because every individual have education in order to know what is good and bad for his life.
Education is an important aspect for everybody and in the life of an individual, in that it makes you respect other people.
Every individual attend education to be well equipped with the knowledge within his environment, knowledge about his country, knowledge about himself as well.
It makes you, with the knowledge you have acquired, to make your society, your environment grow.
Education is what people actually aspire for, to change their life and to make them not the ordinary people who gain knowledge through informal and non-formal education, but to aspire for some kind of positions and job that you can only accede to as a result of formal education. From formal education, you need qualification and certificates to show that you have moved from one level to the other, or that you have a certain capacity and aptitude.
Without education, you cannot have any work that has to do with writing and reading. Because before you drive even a car, let's say even a driver, you have to go to school.
I mean, a literate person, when you are literate, it has so many advantages. You are able to fend for yourself, you are able to work for yourself, you are able to have money through education because you are enlightened. Through that you can gain employment that can really make you self-sustained in society. So education is really an important aspect in somebody's life.
The crisis situation, like what we are experiencing now in Nord-Ouest and South-West, it is not necessary to send children to school.
We cannot afford to keep the children completely from school, because if the situation is solved tomorrow, we shall regret why we did not send our children to school.
In the human aspect of it, studying needs a conducive mind. Without a conducive mind, you cannot study.
Education is quite fundamental. As enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everybody has that, especially children, they have that basic right, that fundamental right to be educated. And in a crisis situation in that, like the one that we're facing in the Northwest and the Southwest, I think that it's incumbent on all parents to make sure that children go to school. Because if these children are not educated, then we are like having a generation of illiterates tomorrow.
Crises are not forever. Crisis will one day end. And when the crisis will end, what are we going to do with all the years that I've spent without going to school?
They say that study must go through in a conducive and serene environment. Is the environment serene? No.
One day the crisis will end. And when they will end, let's say they end after about 2 or 3 years. How are we going to send the students or the children back to school, and which classes are they going to attend now when they have stayed at home for about 3 years? And then the ages can never be reduced. There are certain ages that you have to at least attend the university studies. Without that age, you can no more go to university.
In this context, after 2 years of disruption, and with some of the measures which have been taken, we think there is a need for all of us to rethink. Those who are calling for school boycott, is my appeal that children should still go to school. Even if we cannot have a smooth functioning because maybe Mondays are disrupted and people cannot have enough transport to move, but they can still allow school to go in the other day from Tuesday to Friday.
There is a leader of the nation who declared war. He has to call for ceasefire. When you call for ceasefire, you call for dialogue. The two parties who are now fighting, who has caused the population to be in rampage, they have to come together. They see the dialogue. When the dialogue, they will look at points that have gone wrong. They accept, they admit themselves. And then now to see how we can take off by developing the community back, building back schools, bringing back children into their houses. Therefore, by doing this, then the problem will be avenged and the children now can start going back to school.
We are pleading with all the parties that are involved, say the government and the leaders of Northwest and Southwest, to come together, agree. This nation is ours. We cannot afford to keep it like this, continue to go ahead.
So my appeal is that those who are clamoring for secession and school boycott should reconsider and take a different stand to allow schools to go.
I want to suggest that the government should take urgent action so that there should be some kind of inclusive dialogue so that education should resume normally in all the localities in the country.
The Cameroon government has the knife and the yam. They know what to do. International community has spoken. There is nothing more than dialogue. And we are talking of dialogue because I'm looking at what the people who are claiming are talking about dialogue as of now. There will come a time that dialogue may not solve the problem. So as of now, please, since dialogue is still one of the remedies, let the government dialogue with the people of the Northwest and the Southwest, and things come to normal. Children will go to school spontaneously and things will be normal. It will not be forcing. You don't need military to come and guide school so that children go to school.